Good morning. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos. Good Monday morning, Martin Luther King Day, big day off for many. Crazy game yesterday, Steelers. The Jaguars lost. Lots of people talking about possible coaching changes. The thought of Mike Tomlin or Todd Haley being fired. That's kind of like after every loss, you get that knee-jerk reaction of fire the coaches, or you hear the same thing. It was bad play calling, bad clock management, and we hear this year after year from, people that are basically armchair generals when it comes to decision making and just, the team you follow in football. You can't have, it all ways. On one hand, you could say, people say, we need to have the play calling be more dynamic, more fast, speed things up, and not be more predictable. The Steelers did that this year. They ran no huddle. And when they do that, in situations when they get into the red zone, say after a big play to cross the field, you have the same fans calling for predictability. Let's slow down and, get into the right play. Oftentimes when you make the big play down the field, you have to react with the personnel that's on the field at that time, because what happens in football, if you look at it, as a team marches up and down the field, the players are usually smaller as you get to the 50-yard line, because defenses want to cover more space and match up with receivers. Typically offenses will go with trips formations, more wide receiver heavy packages as you're marching up the field, tight ends, utilizing them more. So defenses will respond with smaller players. So after you make a big play to cross the field, you often have to snap the ball very quickly, because guess what? The smaller team is still on the field. That's the concept of no huddle. So the smaller team on defense is still on the field, so you have to react to that with your heavier personnel, and then you can steal a touchdown offense called pinning it to the boundary. And the average fan sits there and, second guesses a Todd Haley. Why did they, hurry up and run that sort of play? No, they're running based on the conditions of what's going on out there. And, the casual fan is not seeing that. If you haven't played the game, really studied in depth, you won't know that stuff. You'll sit there and sound like a fucking moron, an armchair general. And it's a joke. Todd Haley, people talk about him needing to be fired. Okay, he might need to move on because, it's gotten stale there. But he saved Big Ben's career. Those 4,000-yard passing seasons did not happen until Todd Haley came along. So what do you want? You run no huddle. You make the offense more dynamic. No, slow it down. It gets old. A lot of Steelers fans sound like just finicky. It's a bad example. Finicky little women who nothing will ever be right. It's a joke. You look at Mike Tomlin. You talk about him like, he's just the worst coach. His 10-year record is up there with Vince Lombardi and George Allen. What more do you want? You got to the Super Bowl twice in 10 years. You got 5 division titles, 2 conference titles. You put him in any other situation, they're building a goddamn statue for him in front of the stadium. It's a fucking joke. And you guys sit there and listen to Steelers fans, these little armchair generals who think they know shit about football, shit about just strategy and stuff. The game is played a certain way, and you're reacting in the moment. You're moving the ball. If you're moving the ball fast up the field, you're going to have to trust the quarterback and do different things and, play call adjustments. These things happen. They see things on the field. A safety may come down in the box. You split a wide receiver out based on that. So there's a chess match within the game that you can't sit up and just second guess and just beat the coaches up about. They put a good product on the field. They put a good system together. They didn't have the players to execute that system. You turn the ball over, you're going to lose. That one turnover cost them. They took 4 points off the board and just actually stopped them just once. They won by 1 point. What do you want? That dynamic offense helped keep them in it. They lost by 3 points. That dynamic offense kept fighting. What do you want? Steelers fans, it gets old. Ben will return next year. Hopefully Le'Veon comes back, and hopefully they can put something together. I mean, we're stuck between is Peyton Manning, Tom Brady legacy, and we are able to steal a few titles in the middle. But hey, here we go, Steelers.